Customized state ornaments sell pretty well on Etsy and at craft shows, and I'm going to show you how to make them really easily.
I'm Janny Lisenby, your pyro professor. Let's burn. So to begin, I found some free clip art that is royalty-free, copyright-free, all of that kind of stuff. You can find these kinds of things over at Pixabay. And I made all different sizes so that I could find one that fit. So then you just take your scissors and place it on there after you choose the one that fits, of course. Then you tape it across the top and it's ready to trace. I like to use carbon paper and a tracing tool. So the carbon paper, you can see I've already used it. Reuse your carbon paper, please. There are so many people who don't know you can reuse it. Please reuse it. Save yourself some money. And I'm just going to trace the state outline. Then I'm gonna lift the pattern and have a look. That looks pretty good to me. Now I can reuse this for as many ornaments as I'd like, and I can reuse my paper. So I'll put those both away to the side. Now she also wants a heart on the place where she lives, and that's in the Arizona mountains. So that's over here. And I've got 2 of them done now. Now it's time to burn. Now, if you have a burner that looks kind of like this, then you'll probably want to use a nib like one of these. For the straight lines, you might use a sharper nib like this one. And for the lines, you might do this one. Then again, you might do the whole thing with either one of these and just use the tip here or this one here. Now, if you have a tool like this one, then you will probably want to use nibs that look more like this one. That's the chisel tip. Or like this one with the mini flow tip. Or the flow tip, which is what I have put in this machine. Now, if you have a wire nib tool, I would probably use something like the writing tip or a ballpoint tip. All right, so I am using the ballpoint tip and using my Colwood Detailer wire nib. If you want one of these, by the way, I'll put a link in the description. Don't feel like you have to get one of these though. This is my favorite tool, but there are lots of really cool tools out there and good ones. Find one that works really well for you. My favorite is the Colwood Detailer. And what you want to do is just go back and forth here. And sometimes I will lay down that line first, just to kind of give my ballpoint a place to go, because the ballpoint doesn't cut through the wood grain as well as some other ones, and I'm using the ash wood, and sometimes ash has a pretty rough grain, kind of like pine has a pretty rough grain, but ash is a harder wood, so sometimes the grain can be kind of hard to fight. So you just go back and forth, and that helps to smooth out any of those little blips and blobs that happen when you hit the soft parts of the wood grain. And what you want to do is make sure that when you first touch down that you're moving quickly, and when you come off of the wood that you lift off quickly, because that will also help you with the blobbing. Another thing you want to do is try not to touch over the soft parts of the wood. Try to simply touch in the parts that resisted the burn. Okay, so if it's already thick in that spot, don't touch it. You only want to touch in the thin parts where it didn't burn in as well. Now, in these straight lines, using a ballpoint can be kind of tricky. I probably should have used maybe even a knife point, but sometimes I find those knife points are so sharp that they'll get a really thin line, and then when I go to do the squiggly line will look really fat and blobby compared to the thin knife point. So you know, hit and miss. But you could also do a knife point over these very solid, straight lines, and then go over it again with the ballpoint to thicken them up a little bit. But I try not to do it 300 times. So you just gotta play with it and see what kind of style works best for you. So again, we're just going over it back and forth in short little lines. Sometimes I'll do the long ones. With this one that goes back and forth and is so curvy, I'm definitely going to be doing lots of little movements, lots of back and forth, and the let's see, the swing stroke and the touch stroke to fill in all those little gaps. And if you don't remember what those are, go watch my wood burning techniques video. But real quick here, I'll just tell you the swinging one is kind of like when a kid is in a swing and they drag their feet. They come in really fast and then they drag it and then they come out really fast, right? And so their feet are like that. If you do that with the nib, then it doesn't blob when it comes in and it doesn't blob when it comes out. And then the touch technique is to basically just dot, add a little tiny dot. And what that does is it helps me to touch in the itty bitty pieces of wood grain that really fight me and really don't want to get burned. So you just touch, touch, touch that in, and that helps to smooth that out. And if you want some guidance on how to build your technique and all the different things that helped me to move faster and become a professional woodburning artist like I am today, you can check out the Learn and Burn lab course and the shading course. Now I've got the older versions in my red hot level and the white hot level. The lab is in the red hot, the shading course is in the white hot, and you can go check those out. If you're in those memberships, excellent, go check them out. And if you're not, then when you're ready, feel free to go join those and go get the instructions there that are going to help you move faster. They're going to help you do burning a lot easier with a lot less mistakes. You're also going to learn how to not destroy your machine and all those kinds of things that really matter when you do a lot of wood burning. So I highly encourage you to go check those out if you haven't already. And in the meantime, just keep practicing, keep testing the heat, keep testing all the different techniques, try all the things, because that making all those little mistakes is going to help you become a far better wood burning artist. Once you are done with the outline of the state, it's time to put a little heart. And this is the part that people pay for, is the tiny little customization. You can even put a customer's name in there or established date if they've just got married or something. And these are the things that really can upsell your ornaments when you're at a craft show or on Etsy. And now, if you want to put a finish on it, this is the time. You can even put a beeswax finish on it. Dries pretty fast. Then add some jute twine, about 6 inches of it, and tie it in a knot. And you're ready to sell some ornaments. If you're ready to watch some other videos, I got you right here. And I'll see you on the next one. Later, Pyro.